Welcome back. So still on navigating the Excel interface, the next thing I'm going to be enlightening us about is what we call the formula bar. Now from what I have here, you can see the formula bar. I simply define it as, it is used for data and formulas. So let me show you what we call the formula bar. Now in this space here, you can see that once I over it, when I say over, I mean H-O-V-E-R. So to over something means to put your cursor over it. So I might use that term more and more. It's more of a CSS terminology. All right, CSS is computer programming, by the way. So when you over this, you can see that Excel already tells us what this space is for. So this is the formula bar, and trust me, quite a lot of things go on here which you don't have to worry about now. But over time, you will see the relationship between the formula bar and what happens in the grid area. So data entered here is being printed here. Formulas, everything are being printed inside this place as well. So that is the formula bar. Remember, the formula bar is like at the bottom of the whole ribbon, before your grid area. This is the whole ribbon, and then at the end it's that long space. This is the formula bar. You can always open it if you want to make it longer, but it's not necessary, trust me. So that is the formula bar. All right, so we're also going to be talking about what is a workbook and what is a worksheet. So a worksheet is now is, as you can see, this whole space like this is a worksheet. This whole space like this is a worksheet. So when you open an Excel file, let me delete this first off. Okay, when you open an Excel file, you're not going to have this. You're probably just going to have only sheet 1 here. I explained the spark lines. That's why we have this here. But in a real sense, when you open a new workbook, and what is a workbook? The workbook is a compilation of different worksheets. This whole interface you can see that comprises of the ribbon and the grid area is a worksheet. So I can decide to add more, open more worksheets and all of that. And if I click on, let me see. So if I click on this, you can see I have this a new worksheet. So I can decide to say anything here is different. Everything you have on this worksheet 2 is different from what you have on worksheet 1. So I could decide to say, okay, for worksheet 1, for my text, I want a font size of 18. You can see that space of that highlighted cell is already big. And if I go to worksheet 2, you can see that it's different here. So it's a whole different. You can have something totally different here compared to what you have here. Different data set, different formatting, different styling, and everything. So a workbook is a compilation of worksheets, and a worksheet is just this whole interface, this whole user interface. You can see inside the worksheet you have the entire ribbon and you have the worksheet. You have the entire ribbon and you have the grid area, and then you probably can have as many worksheets as you want. So this whole thing now, if I minimize or if I close it, I've closed the entire workbook. So I can decide to create. So inside this workbook now we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 worksheets inside the workbook. So I hope you understand the difference between a worksheet and a workbook. A workbook is the whole container, and it has worksheets inside of it, and each worksheet also would always have the ribbon and the grid area. All right, I believe you should understand the difference by now. So that being said, we also have a few other things that I want to show us. So we have the some buttons such as the add button, the delete button, rename sheets button. We use this to manage and to more like organize our worksheet. So for instance, now the one I opened earlier, you can see that I added renamed, I added colored, and it's looking fancier than just these ones are. If you have different data sets, you can't even differentiate what it is. So basically now, we've already seen the add button, but you probably didn't know it's add button. This is the add button. You use this to add a new worksheet, and you can see that as I hovered over the button or the icon, it displays that new sheet. So this is the add button. So you use it to add new worksheets, right? I've already done that. We've already clicked it. We added more. Now to delete a worksheet, now you just need to put your cursor over one of the worksheets. I mean this part now. If I click on it, it opens the worksheet. If I click on this sheet 4, it opens sheet 4. If I click on sheet 3, it opens sheet 3. If I click on sheet 2, it does, and if I click on sheet 1, it opens that one as well. All right, now, so to delete it, you probably just need to, you don't necessarily need to click it before doing that. You could just right click over it. Once you right click or delete, it clicks already and it has opened sheet 2. You can see that the difference between when it's open, you can see that the background is kind of white and it has this green. Let me see, zoom. Okay, zooming in is not really working. But when you've clicked, or when you have opened or clicked on a sheet and the sheet is actively in view, its background is different. It's white. It has this green, very slight and tiny green kind of, underline like that, or like this one. So if I click on sheet 4, you can see that this one is no longer white. It's now like every other. Why this is different? So just trying to edit or delete, just right click on it first of all, clicks it, makes it active, and then you can now say I want to delete this. So this is the delete. I click on delete and it disappears. So we're going to just do that as well for sheet 5. Delete. Sheet 4, I right click and I do this, and we have sheet 1 and sheet 2. So we also have the renaming. You can rename. For instance, I could just right click on this sheet 1 and say I want to rename this, and I'll call this practice, practice sheet. And I tap enter, and that's its name. I can rename this and call it. I can either double click. If I double click, it is highlighted, and once I start typing, it overwrites it. That's another method. Or like I just did initially. Okay, let me write something. Let me go back to what was there before sheet 2. So like initially, the first method I did was to right click and click on rename, and then I was able to rename it, right? And you can see that once I clicked on rename, it highlighted it. So you can just directly, to save you the stress. One thing about work is you have to look for the fastest, smartest way to work. There are shorter ways to achieve the same result. So instead of having to like right click on rename, that's already taken like 3 to 5 seconds, and I could just come and just double click. Double click, and then it's already highlighted, and once I start writing, it overwrites. So we could just name this assignment sheet. So we've renamed this one now. This one is the practice sheet, and this is the assignment sheet. Now we could also you can see this looks more fancy the way I gave it a tab color. So we could say we want to make this one fancy also. So I right click as well, and then you have different options, but for now we're going to focus on tab color. So you can pick any color you want, very beautiful color. So we're going to give this one a color of green, and you can see that because it is active, the green is kind of faded, but once I click away, you can see that it is now looking different. All right, now, so let me right click again. Let me do that again. So because the text is black, okay, let me see. Let me click on more colors first of all. Standard custom. You can actually select colors here. I mean, you can select colors. This is the current color now. We want to look for a different color that is going to be favorable with color black. So I'm going to use this yellow, and I'll save. Okay, so once I click away, I think it's better now. So I don't know, this is like lemon green or something. So let's also give this it just makes it more beautiful, makes your whole workbook look more beautiful. If you have like 10 different worksheets and they are all renamed properly, and then add reasonable colors, matching colors anyway. But trust me, if you're not good with colors, you don't have to color it. You could just leave it the way it is. So I could just click on tab colors as well and look at this one and give it something like light blue, and you can see because it is active, it is faded. But once I click away, it is deepened. So you can see back to this and back to this, everything is the way they are. So that is that about adding, deleting, renaming sheets, and also styling the tab, giving it a tab color. All right, now, so in the next video I'm just going to cover this. Let me just pause now because The video is almost 10 minutes. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about this next three. See you in the next video.